Welcome back to TechPulse. 3 days until the official Sony FX5 announcement on July 22nd. And honestly, the spec picture is already clear enough that the stage reveal is almost a formality. Pre-order links are live at B&H, Amazon, and Adorama. Multiple independent sources have confirmed the same core specs. Testers have had hands-on time. So here's the full breakdown right now. Everything confirmed, what's still uncertain, and how it stacks up against the FX3 it's replacing after 5 years. Start with the name. This camera was originally described as the FX3 Mark II. Sony decided the upgrade was significant enough that calling it a Mark II would undersell it. So, it's the FX5. That naming jump puts it closer to the Venice cinema line than the Alpha hybrid cameras the FX3 occupied. That's not marketing. It reflects specific hardware decisions we'll get into. The sensor is a brand new 16.6 megapixel full-frame back-illuminated stack CMOS. 16 megapixels sounds conservative in 2026, but for a cinema-first camera, it's exactly right. Larger individual photo sites mean more light gathered, less noise at high ISO, and processing headroom for aggressive frame rates. Don't be surprised if 4K at 240 frames per second appears on the confirmed sheet July 22nd. The trade-off is 8K recording appears to be off the table, which is an acceptable call for the filmmaking audience this camera targets. On the global shutter question, early leaks claimed global shutter. Sony Alpha Rumors has since walked that back. What is confirmed is a fully stacked architecture, which means dramatically faster sensor readout regardless. Faster readout means significantly reduced rolling shutter distortion, higher shooting speeds, and the bandwidth for high frame rate video. For the cinema audience buying this, a well-implemented stacked sensor solves most practical problems global shutter would address anyway. Processor is confirmed across every source. BIONZ XR2, Sony's newest chip, same as the recently announced A7R VI. Meaningful step up from the BIONZ XR in the FX3. Runs the same AI subject recognition as Sony's current top-tier alpha bodies. People, animals, birds, vehicles, and drives it faster. Combined with a dedicated AI processing unit alongside the main chip. This is the most capable autofocus foundation Sony has ever put in a cinema camera. For solo operators without a dedicated focus puller, that matters enormously. The headline feature Sony is almost certainly leading with on July 22nd. 5K open gate recording in a 3.2 aspect ratio. Sony resisted this for years. Multiple Sony representatives publicly said they didn't see the demand. The FX3 launched without it. The FX3A launched without it. Canon introduced it on the EOS C50 as a direct FX3 competitor. Sony watched, then built it into the FX5. Open gate means recording the full sensor surface. More height than a standard 16:9 crop, giving editors freedom to reframe into horizontal, vertical, or square formats in post from single recording. For creators publishing across YouTube, Instagram, and broadcast simultaneously, that workflow change is significant. Triple base ISO is the feature that matters most for the widest range of working filmmakers. Sony has never shipped this before. Instead of 1 or 2 native sensitivity settings, the camera has 3 separate native ISO ranges, each delivering clean low-noise performance. Canon introduced this concept with the EOS C400. Sony putting it in the FX5 is a direct competitive move and a genuine first for the entire Sony cinema lineup. In practice, it means moving from bright outdoor to mixed interior to dark controlled studio without hitting the compromise points of a standard dual native ISO camera. On the body, testers confirm slightly larger than FX3, but not dramatically so. Extra size, concentrated in thickness rather than footprint. Redesigned top control dial sits more exposed than the FX3 for faster access to shooting parameters. Menu has moved to Venice architecture rather than standard Alpha interface, a clear signal of where Sony positions this internally. New 3.5-inch LCD screen noticeably larger than FX3's display. False color button visible in leaked body images. New optional tilting EVF accessory fills the single most common FX3 complaint for outdoor and low-light shooters. Storage gets dual CFEX Type A and SD card slots, plus new internal RAW recording formats developed specifically for the FX5. Pricing, genuinely thin on confirmed information. Pre-order links live, but no price attached. Testers describe it as a bit expensive while calling it a far superior Cine camera to the FX3. The FX3 sits around $3,500. Most speculation puts FX5 above that, $4,000 to $5,000 range. July 22nd gives us the definitive answer. FX3 owners sitting on the fence. If you shoot in controlled environments with predictable lighting and your current workflow is solid, the FX5 is an upgrade, not a necessity. If you shoot run and gun in mixed lighting, need multiple aspect ratio deliverables, or rolling shutter and autofocus tracking have cost you shots, the FX5 addresses all of that simultaneously. Testers without exception described it as a more mature and complete camera. What's left for July 22nd is the price, exact frame rate ceiling, and official sensor architecture confirmation. Which spec has you most excited? 5K open gate, triple base ISO, or BIONZ XR2 with AI autofocus? Drop it in the comments. And subscribe to TechPulse with notifications on so you catch the official reveal the moment it goes live. Take care. See you on July 22nd.